Well, greetings and welcome back, blade lovers. This old sword is with you after kind of a brief hiatus, a couple of vacations and some travel, and I'm back, and here we are, first day at work. Well, before the first day at work, early in the morning. So if I haven't had quite enough coffee and I'm slurring my speech and forgetting knife names, please forgive me. All right, so I decided at this point in the year 2022, and it is the 7th of December, it's time to start thinking about knives that have come in and been introduced and been acquired this year. And these are all knives, I decided, that would be 5 in number. And I'm doing this first run as production folders. It's going to be followed by production fixed blade, and it will then be followed by production customs, which I've been getting into quite a bit this year. So this is the first run. This is production folders, my 5 favorite, and let me tell you, it has been hard to determine which ones are in and which ones are out. And the ones that are out are still terrific knives, but I had to limit it for the sake of video brevity and not going on for several hours here. But as it is, I've been talking for a minute and a half, so why don't we get into it and do a bit of a reveal here and let you know which knives which came out in 2022 are my favorites. And I don't know where to begin, but let's begin with the Beglighter, the Kaiser Beglighter XL, a special run by White Mountain Knives. Kudos to Justin up there in New Hampshire at White Mountain Knives. This has been a big hit with a lot of people. For the initial cost of $80, less your 10% discount with Old Sword, don't forget, which drops it down to about $72, free shipping and no tax. Pretty good. It is a button lock that is exceedingly smooth and glitch free. It locks up tight like a drum. This is the original in the brown canvas micarta. It has since come out in carbon fiber and several other colors. They managed to, for $80, give you 154 cm, and it is a deep carry, switchable clip, and there is so much here to like and almost nothing not to like. I love the long runs of jimping, particularly when they grab the thumb well. I like the double thumb stud. I like the fact that we have a flipper option. I'm kind of a thumb stud guy, but on button locks I seem to go a little more for the flipper. And it's a very fidgety knife. It's a large knife, which I love. That helped get it into the final 5 here. Almost a 4-inch blade. I think it's like 3.87 or some such. There are individual reviews on each of these knives, so go check those out if you need to know more about any of these. I will give you links to where you can buy these. As far as I know, they're still all in production, although some are a little harder to come by than others. Beautiful knife, large button lock, successfully done. There have been a lot of button lock attempts that have not come out that well from other manufacturers and even from Kaiser that stick, that have certain issues that you may need to fix. This one, however, is the exception. Really, really fine. So we're going to put that one down in the open position, and let's go next to a Microtech knife made, however, by the OEM Reich Knives. So Microtech got some flack for going to a Chinese OEM for their knives, which have up to now been all USA made. But let me tell you, boy, oh boy, Reich can make a knife. right down to the detail, the materials, the fit, the finish. This is the Socom Bravo, as I'm sure you know. It is a titanium, beautiful carbon fiber, fit and finish exquisite, M390 blade, deep trench-like fuller. Comes in a semi-serrated version now, comes in a full serrated version maybe, comes in a tanto fully serrated and part serrated and plain. There's about 6 different iterations of this knife. And originally went for about 3 1/4. I think they're up now, a little bit of an increase. I think they're doing DLC coating as well now. I haven't kept up with it all. But you have a massive, robust knife, 4-inch blade, machining to beat the band all over the place. You get your lanyard hole, you get beautiful, kind of almost a checkered look carbon fiber. Some of the best carbon fiber I've seen, just beautiful bead blast on the bolster. And heavy duty frame lock, massive 5mm blade, and just a knife you can either keep as a safe queen, gentleman's carry, or rugged duty knife. Your choice. It'll hold up to all of those. Imagine holding up to being a safe queen. Well, lots of jokes we could make about that, I suppose. I like the fact on this design that you can lay your thumb in this swale here, or you can bring it back here. And there's plenty of handle. No skull crusher, no glass breaker, but it's pointed enough to where it can be put to use for that. Just an exquisitely made knife. Highly recommended. And kudos to Microtech and Tony Marfione for taking the chance on Reich. Well, let's go to one of my favorite, and certainly one of the biggest. Here is the Big Drago tack from Bastinelli Knives. Now, you may be thinking, well, this didn't come out in 2022. The remake of it, though, came out in 2022. This was an older knife that came out in D2. This, however, is M390. They enhanced the handle with 3D machining on the G10 and a new thumb disc that actually can be waved out of the pocket by just turning it a little bit as you drag it out of the pocket. These are very grippy, that gear-like pattern on the thumb disc. And it opens with authority. You can choke up and hold it here. Love it. You can go back and hold it here, almost like a sword. Right? You can put the thumb here in the forward position. You can lay it all the way out, and you've got a good working knife. High flat grind on an M390 blade. This one made by Lion Steel in Italy, and that is on the inside. Get a little light in there. You can see it down in there. It does say Lion Steel M390. Got a glass breaker skull crusher. That is a hardened carbide point there that you see. Big old lanyard hole. Not switchable. Titanium on one side, G10 on the other. Not deep carry, about an inch remaining, but for a large knife it's pretty darn good. And guillotine drop shut action. That some people have questioned when I said that. Thing is with this knife too is that getting your fingers off of the lock bar when you release it is a little bit testy sometimes. But look at this drop. It's crazy good. And if you like big folders, this is the one to get. They're up over $4, so it ain't going to be cheap, and it does come in a blacked out version. This is the stone-washed natural finish, but just a huge knife. And the ergos on this knife for a large knife are incredible. Pretty thin for a big knife. So, the Big Drago tech. All right. How about another Reich knife, but this is under the Reich brand, the Lamella. And it is in 20 CV. And it is a beauty. This is a much sought after knife in 2022. Came out, I think, round about September, October. There was just a lot of chatter about this knife. It is a clamshell type design that looks like an integral, but is not integral. This is a shell that snaps on. There's a release inside right about here that you need to slide, and then the cover comes off, and then you see the pivot, which you can adjust and all that good kind of stuff. But this is really a liner lock, not a frame lock. Beautifully done, smooth action. It is both this thumb bar and flipper. Oh, so smooth. That's a little pointy. And I think it has been determined that it doesn't lock up on those studs. It locks up where I can't recall. I believe it's locking up on the lock pin. Nope. Could be both. So if you know, let me know. It almost looks like it's locking up on the lock bar or the pin, but doesn't look like it's going in far enough. So we're going to say it locks up on these bar type studs. Either way, it locks up great. No lock rock, no blade play. Of course not. Not for a knife that's running around 350, 355, I think. Beautiful crowned spine on this. Beautiful file-like jimping. It is as exquisitely done as the Socom Bravo, but it has its own flair, as you can see. Beautiful Persian design. So let's get that down here. And last, and definitely not least, here is my pick for budget knife of the year. Budget knife of the year, I said it. This is the Beyond EDC, designed by Dirk Pinkerton. This is the Night Horse. People have been raving about this. I highly recommended it when I first did the review, and I believe I was the first or one of the first to do a review on this. I saw the potential as soon as I saw Dirk Pinkerton put the prototypes up on his Instagram channel. It is just incredible. You get G10, you don't get FRN. You get Sandvik 14C 28N, and what do you get it for? $29 and change, a $30 knife, and nobody can believe how good this knife is for $30. It was so good, I got one in black. It was so good, I got one in titanium for $100.50. Same exact knife, titanium handle and S35VN blade, but again, that's $100.50, and this is $30. $30. And look at the action. Beautiful, crazy drop shot action. People have been saying they can't stop playing with this knife. Only qualm by some is they don't like the width of the clip. I tend to like it. It is a thicker stock spring metal clip, which is really good. Not going to bend that easy, you know, but you've got enough flex to go in and out of the pocket very smoothly. Everything's right about this knife. Dirk has been very happy with the design as well. It's a big knife. It is about 4¼ inches on the blade. Don't usually measure during these things, but it's almost 4.5. It's like 4.35. It is a huge knife. It is 10 inches overall. Crazy. And light. So if there's one knife on the table that I could recommend, bang for the buck, yes, but just bang. Forget the buck. And sorry, Jared, I did say bang, but I don't know if you've trademarked that word or not yet. All right, having fun with good friend Jared and Eve. Anyway, those are my 5 favorite production folders for 2022. Coming up soon will be fixed blade production and fixed blade custom. It's because I don't have any folding knives that are custom. Maybe one day. They tend to be a little pricey. Maybe a Terzuola. Okay, guys. Enjoyed this. Hope you did too. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe.